بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وآله وصحبه أجمعين. رب زدنا علما ولا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. In these next 40 minutes or so that we have together, I would like, in some type of conclusion, share with you some of the ways and some of the akhlaq at the practical level of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Remember, we have established that the external actions are the result of an internal state of nafs. And that when the nafs is in some state of khuluq, then actions result effortlessly. And what you are going to hear is something perhaps you heard before. But remember, إِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, says Allah Azza wa Jal. Reminders are helpful to those who have iman. And remember that it is about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam that we are speaking. And that he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam acted when he acted the way he acted as a result of a nafs that is very, very refined, as a result of a state of an inner self that is very, very beautiful, that is in a state of tuma'nina, that is in a state of peace and stability and serenity, like that very calm pond of water that detects any type of interference through exhibiting ripples. That nafs is very, very sensitive. So I begin by some of the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like that I mentioned earlier, namely the khuluq of silence. The khuluq of, in other words, using the tongue properly. And we learned that part of his khuluq sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam أن كان صلى الله عليه وسلم كان طويل الصمت, as is described in the authentic texts. He had prolonged intervals of silence. And when he spoke, as I said, he spoke gems and diamonds and pearls, and only that which is beneficial to himself and to his ummah in the quest of ubudiyyah to Allah Azza wa Jal. And that we therefore, emulating Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam's akhlaq, we are to, if we truly are on the quest of ubudiyyah to Allah Azza wa Jal, we are to struggle to develop that akhlaq of prolonged silence. And that we begin to learn how to keep our tongue from speaking. And as I said, I think yesterday, was it here that I said it? Maybe not here, maybe somewhere else. How about trying after this session to minimize the words you are going to utter? Not to speak when you desire to speak. How about that? Try that and see how challenging it is. And keep that as a rule, insha'Allah ta'ala, of practice. And you will never regret it. Usually they say a person does not regret to have been quiet, but people have regretted to have spoken. That's why they say, إِذَا كَانَ الْكَلَامُ مِنْ فِضَّةٍ فَالسُّكُوتُ مِنْ ذَهَبٍ. if speaking were to be of silver, then quietness is of gold. And it is said that Luqman al-Hakim said this hikmah in the following event. It is said that he was in the time of Dawood alayhi salam. And Dawood alayhi salam was making a shield for the first time. For Allah Azza wa Jal taught him how to manufacture a shield in war. And Allah speaks about that, I believe, in Surah An-Nahl. وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ صَنْعَةَ لَبُوسٍ لَكُمْ. And then Luqman was in the court of Dawood alayhi salam and noticed that he was doing that for days. It was something new, and he was making that. And then he had the urge to speak, to ask him what it is that he was making. And they say, however, his hikmah, his wisdom restrained him from asking a question. So his hikmah restrained him from speaking then. Until such time when Dawood alayhi salam finished the manufacturing of that shield and then wore it to test it and then as he wore it, Dawood alayhi salam said, نِعْمَ الدِّرْعُ لِلْحَرْبِ. He said alayhi salam, what means, oh, what an excellent shield it is for battle. Then Luqman alayhi salam said, الصمت حكم وقليل فاعله. Then it is said that Luqman uttered that word of hikmah and said, what means silence is law in this version, law, hukm, and in a version, wisdom. Silence is law, and rare are those who practice it. After what happened to him then? He kept quiet. He had an urge to speak. He did not speak. And then the answer to his question came anyways. By patience and by proper use of the faculties of the nafs and therefore of the tongue in this case. So كان صلى الله عليه وسلم طويل الصمت.